The vastness of space stretched endlessly, dotted with sparkling stars that seemed calm, yet beneath that serene sky a storm was brewing. The human colony of Epsilon 9, a small but thriving world on the edge of the galactic frontier, orbited quietly, unaware that its fate was about to change forever. Humans had settled here only a decade ago, building cities that shimmered like jewels and factories that hummed with life. But the neighboring alien powers, the Zerthians, Vokari and Krelth, saw human expansion as a challenge, a potential threat to their carefully balanced dominance. Admiral Kale stood on the bridge of the human flagship Resolute, his eyes scanning the deep space radar displays. He was a tall man, with sharp features and calm, steady hands, the kind of leader whose confidence inspired his crew even when odds seemed impossible. Around him, officers moved with practiced efficiency, their voices clipped and precise. The humans were outnumbered, their fleet smaller, their technology less advanced than the alien coalition that had been watching them for decades. Yet Kale knew one thing clearly. Humans had something the aliens did not: adaptability. The warning came through just as the morning shift ended. Sensors had picked up an alien fleet approaching the trade corridor near Epsilon 9. Hundreds of massive ships bristling with weapons moved in formation. But what caught Kale's attention wasn't just the size of the fleet, it was the speed. Faster than any scout reports had predicted. "This is not a routine patrol," Kale said, voice low but firm. "They're coming for us." The communications officer, a young woman named Sarah, looked pale as she adjusted the receiver. "Admiral, they're sending a message. It's in the Vokari code. Rough translation: prepare to be destroyed." Kyle's eyes narrowed. Humans had always known that the aliens underestimated them, but this was different. This was open hostility. There had been whispers of a preemptive strike, but no one had believed it would come so soon. "Alert the colonies," Kyle ordered. "Every civilian ship must move to the safe zones immediately. Arm the defense grid. I want fighters in the air within 5 minutes. Let's show them humans are not easy prey." On the surface of Epsilon 9, panic spread quickly. Citizens rushed to evacuation stations, while automated factories converted civilian shuttles into combat-ready vessels. Humanity had always been prepared for such threats, not because they expected war, but because they expected the unexpected. Unlike the aliens, humans thrived under pressure, thinking quickly, acting decisively. Within hours, the alien armada had reached the outer rim of Epsilon 9's orbit. Massive cruisers blocked the sun, casting long shadows across the planet. Energy beams began to streak through space, destroying mining satellites and outposts without warning. The humans responded not with fear, but with precision. Fighter squadrons weaved through the alien fire, launching surprise attacks. Mines previously disguised as space debris detonated near enemy hulls, sending shockwaves that crippled several ships. Kale observed quietly, analyzing patterns in the alien formation. "They think their numbers make them invincible," he muttered. "Let's prove them wrong." Using a combination of stealth fighters and improvised drones, the humans targeted the alien supply lines first. Without supplies, even the largest fleet becomes slow, unwieldy, and vulnerable. In minutes, several cargo vessels exploded in spectacular bursts, throwing the alien formation into temporary chaos. "You're seeing this, right?" Lieutenant Rion, Kale's tactical officer, said with a grin. "They're losing coordination already." Kale nodded. "Good. But remember, this is only the beginning. They will regroup. They always do. Our goal is not just to survive the first strike. It's to make them regret underestimating us." Meanwhile, aboard the flagship of the Vokari commander, an imposing alien named Tharvak, panic was not expected. The Vokari rarely felt threatened. Their technology was superior, their fleets vast. Yet the humans moved unpredictably, attacking from angles no alien strategist had predicted. Each strike was precise, each maneuver clever, designed not just to hit but to confuse and frustrate. "What is happening?" Tharvak hissed, claws tapping the armrest of his command chair. "They are insignificant, and yet they defy every tactic we know. How?" His lieutenant, a smaller, nervous alien named Krelta, replied cautiously, "Commander, humans, they think differently. They are unpredictable. Each time we anticipate, they do something we cannot foresee." Back on the human side, the Resolute moved into a tighter formation with other ships. Kale issued orders rapidly. changing targets and strategies as the alien response shifted. Humans worked together as a single organism, their decisions fluid and instantaneous. Every human captain knew that hesitation could mean death. Yet they acted with courage and creativity, turning the smaller fleet into a force that the aliens had not imagined. In the midst of battle, Kale received a report from Sarah. "Admiral, we've detected a small alien shuttle attempting to land on the planet's main city. They might be trying to send a boarding team or plant explosives." Kale clenched his fists. "Not on my watch. Launch the intercept squad. I want them stopped before they reach the surface." A squadron of elite human pilots took off, weaving through laser fire with extraordinary precision. Using gravitational slingshots around nearby asteroids, they approached the shuttle from unexpected angles, disabling it before it could reach the city. Cheers erupted in the command room. Even under the pressure of annihilation, humans celebrated small victories, boosting morale and reminding themselves that courage often outweighed numbers. As the first wave of alien ships retreated, Cal knew this was only temporary. "They'll come back," he told his crew. "Stronger, smarter, and angrier. But so will we. Remember this moment. Remember what humans can do when cornered." In a quieter moment, Kale stood at the observation window of the Resolute, staring at the shattered alien ships drifting in the void. "They think they know us," he said softly to himself. "They have no idea." On Epsilon 9, civilians emerged from shelters to witness the damaged alien ships burning in orbit. Children pointed at the sky, marveling at the strange colors of the explosions. Parents whispered reassurances, proud of their defenders, yet knowing the war was far from over. Humanity had survived the first strike, but the real test was only beginning. The galaxy, which had long dismissed humans as weak and insignificant, was about to learn a very important lesson. Humans were not merely survivors, they were fighters, thinkers, and relentless in their determination. Every move, every tactic, every daring plan demonstrated the very essence of humanity: resilience, ingenuity, and the courage to face impossible odds. As night fell over the planet, Kale convened his officers. "This was the spark," he said. "The spark of conflict. They chose war against us, believing they could crush humanity in one strike. They are wrong. The galaxy will watch, and we will teach them a lesson they will never forget. Prepare the fleet. This war has just begun." Even as humans repaired damaged ships and civilians rebuilt their city defenses, messages were sent to allied colonies across nearby systems. "Be ready. They are coming," one broadcast warned. But hidden within the ordinary warning was a deeper message, a message that humans themselves would soon send directly to the alien coalition. A message of defiance, of courage, and of warning. "You chose war against humanity, and now you will learn what we are capable of." For Admiral Kale, the night was long but purposeful. He walked the decks of the Resolute, observing his crew working tirelessly. Engineers patched hull breaches, medics tended to the injured, pilots recalibrated weapons. Each human was focused, determined, ready for the next challenge. And Kale knew with quiet certainty that no alien fleet, no matter how large, could match the resolve of humanity. In the dark, silent void of space, humanity had ignited a spark, not just of survival, but of defiance. And soon the galaxy would see it flare into a blazing storm. The human fleet drifted silently through the dark void of space, a line of ships smaller and fewer than the approaching alien armada. Yet within the ranks of these vessels there was no fear, only focus, strategy, and determination. Admiral Kale paced the bridge of the Resolute, eyes scanning the data streams that showed the alien fleet closing in faster than predicted. "They've learned nothing from the first engagement," Kale said, his voice calm but edged with steel. "They think overwhelming numbers will finish us before we can react. Let's prove them wrong again." Lieutenant Rion, the tactical officer, nodded sharply. "Admiral, the enemy has split into 3 waves. First, the heavy cruisers, followed by the assault frigates, and finally the scout fleet. Their numbers are more than twice ours." Kale rubbed his chin thoughtfully. "Good, then we'll divide our focus. The heavy cruisers go first. Let's hit their supply lines. Make them think they're in control and then show them they are not." The human fleet moved with precision. Smaller, faster ships weaved between the colossal alien cruisers, using their agility to launch attacks where the larger ships could not respond. Mines disguised as asteroids detonated in carefully timed sequences, sending shockwaves that damaged multiple enemy vessels at once. In the alien fleet, Commander Tharvak seethed with frustration. They move too fast. Every maneuver we plan they have already anticipated. Their numbers are fewer, but somehow they are everywhere. Krelta, his lieutenant, responded with concern. Commander, humans fight differently. They are not like other species. They adapt, and they learn quickly. This is unusual. Kyle observed the battlefield with careful attention. He could see the alien ships regrouping, attempting to form tighter formations to counter human agility. But humans thrived on unpredictability. Using gravitational slingshots around nearby moons, the human fighters approached from angles the aliens considered impossible. Torpedoes and energy bursts struck alien hulls before they could react, and each small victory reinforced human morale. Focus on the flanks, Kale commanded. Do not engage their center. Hit the edges, destroy their support ships, make them wonder where we will strike next. Sarah, monitoring communications, reported, Admiral, the aliens are attempting to jam our channels. They're trying to confuse our coordination. Kyle smiled faintly. Let them try. Humans do not rely only on channels. We communicate in action as much as words. Every squadron knows the plan. Above Epsilon 9, the citizens watched the first explosions of the battle from orbiting observation stations and satellites. Energy beams lit the dark sky, a violent dance of fire and metal. Families clutched each other, awe and fear mixing in their eyes, as the human pilots executed daring maneuvers that left the aliens reeling. Captain Lyra, commanding one of the human frigates, darted between two alien cruisers. Her ship was smaller, less armored, but she moved like a shadow, striking the supply modules of the alien vessels. They never expect speed and precision together, she shouted to her crew, launching a volley of micro-torpedoes that tore into the enemy hull. Kale watched the reports. Excellent. Every strike counts, but remember, we do not underestimate them. One mistake and we lose more than we can afford. The first wave of alien cruisers faltered under repeated human attacks. Supply ships were destroyed, bridges were damaged, and communications were disrupted. The aliens struggled to coordinate, and for the first time, cracks appeared in their confidence. In the midst of the chaos, Kyle ordered a daring maneuver. Prepare the stealth fighters for a deep strike. Target their command cruisers. We do not destroy everything yet. We create uncertainty, make them wonder if every human ship could strike anywhere at any time. The stealth squadron, small and almost invisible, darted toward the alien command cruisers. Using the shadows of nearby asteroids and debris, they launched a precise strike on the energy shields of the largest cruiser. The shields failed briefly, and the squadron released a concentrated energy burst that disabled the ship's main weapons. The alien commander's voice echoed in panic across his fleet. What is happening? Tharvak growled. Our shields. How did they? Krelta's claws trembled. Commander, they are clever, unpredictable. Human clever. We did not account for this. Kale allowed himself a moment of quiet pride. Humans were small in number, yet their ingenuity and bravery were unmatched. Each pilot, engineer, and captain acted not only with skill but with courage. That courage multiplied across the fleet, creating an effect far greater than any single weapon. The second wave of alien frigates entered the battlefield, hoping to overwhelm the human defenses with sheer numbers. But humans had prepared. Minefields had been placed in unexpected locations, and decoy drones mimicked human attacks, drawing enemy fire into traps. As alien frigates moved in, they triggered these traps one by one. Explosions lit the dark void, and alien ships began to falter under the combined pressure of human strategy and audacity. Even in the heart of battle, human medics and engineers worked tirelessly. Ships that were damaged were patched quickly, pilots recovered from injuries, and no one allowed despair to slow them down. Every human knew the stakes. Failure meant destruction, but courage meant survival. Admiral, Ryan called. The alien scouts are moving faster than expected. They might try to flank us. Kel considered the data. Then we adjust. Human fleet shift formation Delta 5. Prepare intercepts on all vectors. Let them chase shadows while we control the real battlefield. The humans' unpredictable tactics worked beautifully. Alien scouts found themselves isolated, trapped between human ships unable to communicate or retreat. Micro-torpedoes and coordinated strikes destroyed several vessels at once. The alien fleet was powerful but rigid. The humans exploited every predictable move, turning every alien advantage into a liability. On Epsilon 9, civilians watched in awe as messages flashed across observation screens. "Humans are fighting back," one child whispered. "They are winning, even though they are smaller." "Yes," their parents said quietly. "Humans never give up. That is who we are." As the alien fleet's first two waves faltered, the final group, the scout fleet, attempted to retreat, regroup, and bring reinforcements. Kale saw the opportunity. "Prepare the ambush. They think they can escape. Let's show them they cannot." The human fleet used the planet's gravity and nearby asteroid belts to create invisible choke points. The alien scouts, expecting open space, flew directly into traps. Torpedoes, mines, and fighter attacks combined into a symphony of destruction. Ships that had once seemed untouchable were now burning, drifting, and exploding into fragments. Tharvak roared in frustration. "How can they do this? Our fleet is superior. They are ordinary humans." Krelta shook his head. "Commander, that is the problem. They are not ordinary. They adapt. They do not fear death the way we do. They think in ways we cannot predict. This is something new." Kale, watching the enemy falter, made a decision. "Hold your fire. Let them see our strength, but do not annihilate yet. We send a message with every strike. Humans are not to be underestimated." Across the battlefield, the humans coordinated a display of daring strategy and resilience. Small ships darted between massive cruisers. Engineers executed emergency repairs in record time. And every crew member acted as though they were part of a single mind. The aliens had numbers, technology, and raw power, but humans had ingenuity, courage, and unity. By the time the final alien ships attempted to withdraw, they had lost nearly a third of their forces. The first human victory, though temporary, was complete. Messages of the battle spread quickly across human colonies and the remaining alien territories. Humanity had proven that even outnumbered, even outgunned, they could fight with brilliance and determination. Kale turned to his officers, his expression resolute. "This is only the beginning. They chose war. We survived their first strike, but they will return. Every human ship, every pilot, every engineer must be ready. The galaxy thinks we are small, insignificant, but we will show them the truth." Humanity is not easy to defeat. Sarah sent out a secure message to the colonies. "The first wave is repelled. Humanity stands united. Prepare for the next challenge. We will teach them a lesson they will never forget." As the fleet regrouped, Kyle allowed himself a moment to reflect. Humans had faced death and chaos and had turned it into victory through strategy, courage, and clever thinking. Every officer and crew member knew the price of failure, but also the power of determination. In the silent expanse of space, the human fleet shone as a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience against impossible odds. Across the galaxy, the aliens would talk of this battle for generations, puzzled and frustrated by the unpredictable strength of a species they had underestimated for centuries. And in that moment, Admiral Kale knew something important. Humanity's story was only beginning. They had survived the first strike, but the real war, the one that would prove to the galaxy what humans were truly capable of, was still ahead. The void of space seemed calm after the first human victory, but Admiral Kale knew better. The alien coalition would not stay down for long. Every destroyed ship, every lost supply line only fueled their rage. Kale stood on the bridge of the Resolute, observing the blinking lights of his fleet as they made repairs, refueled, and prepared for the next wave. "They are organizing again," Lieutenant Rion reported. "The Vokari and Krelth fleets are merging their forces. Estimates put their combined strength at nearly 4 times ours." Kyle's jaw tightened. "Then we adapt. Humans do not fight the same way twice. We are flexible, clever, and fast. They expect us to be predictable. Let's prove them wrong." Around him, the crew worked tirelessly. Engineers patched hull breaches, recalibrated energy shields, and checked weapons systems. Pilots ran simulations and practiced new maneuvers. Everyone knew that the coming battle would test not just their skill, but their resolve. The first sign of the second strike came as small, fast-moving alien scouts appeared on the radar. They darted between human ships, probing defenses, testing reactions. Kale knew their purpose, to find weak points before the main fleet arrived. "Send the intercept squadron," Kale ordered. "Engage with precision. Make them believe they have discovered a weak point, then trap them." The human pilots moved like shadows, using nearby asteroids and the planet's gravity to hide their approach. They struck from angles the aliens did not expect, disabling multiple scouts and forcing the rest to retreat. It was a small victory, but one that demonstrated a larger principle. Humans thrived on unpredictability. Meanwhile, the alien commanders gathered in their flagship. Tharvak's claws drummed impatiently on the control console. How do they do this? Their fleet is smaller, yet they counter everything we throw at them. Krelta responded, his voice tense. Commander, they fight differently. They learn quickly, adapt, and never hesitate. They are human. We have underestimated them. It is a mistake we cannot afford again. Back on the human side, Kale convened his senior officers. We do not just defend. We take the fight to them. Prepare for coordinated strikes on their command vessels. Every move must be calculated. Every strike precise. But most of all, we make them fear us. Sarah, monitoring communications, added, Admiral, we can send a broadcast. A message directly to the alien coalition. It will let them know humans are not to be underestimated. Kale considered this, then nodded. Yes, send it. Let them know what they are facing. Not threats, not fear, but the truth. Humanity does not bow. Humanity does not retreat. Humanity fights. Minutes later, a clear message transmitted across alien communication channels. You chose war. Watch us teach you how it's done. The simplicity of the message carried power. In alien culture, such open defiance was rare and bold. Across the coalition fleet, silence fell as commanders processed the broadcast. Rage, confusion, and fear began to spread. The aliens had expected submission, negotiation, or fear. They had not expected courage, clarity, and intelligence. Kale smiled faintly. Good, now let's move. The main wave of the alien fleet arrived in orbit near Epsilon 9, larger and more disciplined than the first. Heavy cruisers led the formation, supported by thousands of smaller vessels. Their energy beams painted the darkness of space with deadly streaks, and massive shields glowed as they activated. Yet despite their numbers, there was hesitation. The message had done its work. Kyle ordered the human fleet to form a defensive perimeter around the planet. Smaller ships would act as bait, drawing the aliens into traps while the main fleet prepared hidden ambush points. Engineers remotely controlled mines and decoys, creating false targets to confuse the enemy. Humans worked as one organism, every crew member contributing to a strategy designed to outthink a larger, more powerful foe. The battle began with the alien cruisers advancing aggressively. Energy beams struck the human ships, but precision maneuvers allowed the fleet to dodge major damage. Torpedoes and micromissiles were fired at alien supply lines, crippling ships that were vital to the cohesion of the enemy fleet. Captain Lyra led a daring strike team through the asteroid belts. Her frigate moved like a shadow, striking enemy cruisers from unexpected angles. We hit their engines first, she reported. Then we take out weapon systems. Let them know we are everywhere. Indeed, the humans were everywhere. Smaller ships darted between massive alien cruisers, targeting weak points with surgical precision. Mines detonated at crucial moments, knocking several ships out of formation. Alien commanders struggled to maintain control, unable to adapt quickly to human unpredictability. Above Epsilon 9, civilians watched the unfolding battle with a mixture of fear and awe. Energy beams tore through space, explosions illuminated the planet below, and human ingenuity shone brighter than any weapon. Children pointed at the sky, whispering to each other about bravery. Adults held their breath, witnessing the courage and skill of their defenders. As the battle progressed, Kale noticed a pattern in the aliens' strategy. They repeated maneuvers, assuming humans would act predictably. But humans adapted instantly. Using counter-strategies, the fleet exploited every repeated move. Ships that should have been destroyed survived through clever navigation and coordinated attacks. Each victory bolstered human morale and further unnerved the aliens. Prepare the stealth squads, Kale ordered. We strike their command centers next. Let them see who controls the battlefield. The stealth ships moved silently, approaching the alien command vessels from directions no one expected. Using asteroid shadows and sudden bursts of speed, they disabled shields and targeted key weapon systems. Explosions rocked the enemy flagships, causing panic to spread rapidly through their fleet. Tharvak roared, frustrated beyond reason. They are everywhere. We cannot contain them. How is this possible? Krelta, his voice trembling, replied, Commander, They are human. They do not fight like us. They think differently, move differently, and act with courage we cannot understand. Kyle watched the enemy falter and made a decisive call. Do not destroy yet. We teach them the lesson. Precision over annihilation. Show them the strength of humans without wasting resources. The humans continued their clever maneuvers. Small ships attacked, retreating before retaliation could occur. Decoy drones mimicked fleet movements, confusing the aliens and forcing them to waste firepower. Every strike was measured, demonstrating discipline and intelligence, not just raw power. As the battle reached its climax, Kale sent a final order to his fleet. Push forward. Focus on their weaknesses. Keep morale high.
Humanity does not fear.
Humanity does not retreat. Humanity adapts, and we will win. By the end of the engagement, alien forces were battered, disorganized, and fearful. Many ships had retreated, some destroyed, and all were aware of the courage and brilliance of humanity. The galaxy, which had long dismissed humans as insignificant, was witnessing a turning point. Kale allowed himself a brief moment of quiet pride. Humans had faced overwhelming odds, adapted instantly, and emerged victorious. But he knew this was only the beginning. The aliens would return, stronger and more determined. Yet now they feared the unpredictable courage of humans. Sarah sent secure messages to allied colonies. We have shown our strength. We have sent the message. Humanity is not to be underestimated. Prepare for the next challenge. Victory is within our grasp if we remain united and clever. Above Epsilon 9, the citizens celebrated small victories, repairing damage and tending to the wounded. Yet they understood that the war was not over. Humanity had survived the first major test, but the true measure of their strength was still to come. Kyle gazed at the horizon of space, seeing the remnants of the alien fleet retreating. They will return, he said quietly, but they will return wiser and more cautious. And we will be ready. Humanity does not fight blindly. We fight with skill, courage, and intelligence. The galaxy will remember this day. Not because we were lucky, but because humans never give up, never surrender, and never stop adapting. In the silent expanse of space, the human fleet regrouped, stronger and more confident than before. Every crew member understood their role in the coming conflict, and every human knew the truth. The galaxy had underestimated them for too long. The turning point had arrived, and from this moment onward the universe would witness what humans were truly capable of. The alien coalition had retreated, licking their wounds, but Admiral Kale knew their reprieve would be short. Humanity had survived the first strikes, but the war was far from over. Kale gathered his senior officers in the Resolute's strategy room, a chamber filled with glowing maps, holographic displays, and the quiet hum of active communications. We don't just defend, Kyle said, voice steady. We teach. They have underestimated humanity for too long. Now we take the fight to them. Every strike will be precise, every maneuver deliberate. We show them our strength, our courage, and our intelligence. We do not destroy blindly. We win decisively. Lieutenant Ryan studied the holographic projections of enemy systems. Admiral, their supply lines are scattered across 3 major star systems. If we hit their logistics first, we can weaken their fleets without full engagement. Kyle nodded. Exactly. Small strikes, surgical attacks, make them fear our unpredictability. Humanity fights smart, not just hard. The fleet moves swiftly, passing through asteroid belts and dark voids to remain hidden from alien scouts. Small human ships, agile and silent, darted through the shadows, targeting outposts, refueling stations, and communications hubs. Each strike was swift and effective, causing chaos without risking massive engagement. Captain Lyra led one of the strike teams through a dense asteroid field. Engaging target, she reported. Her frigate launched micro-torpedoes that disabled a Krelth supply depot. Explosions illuminated the darkness, and alien crews scrambled in confusion. They never expected us to find this route, she said with a grin. Meanwhile, on the Resolute, Kale observed the movements of the alien fleets. Sensors tracked the enemy as they tried to regroup, repair, and reorganize, but the humans were always one step ahead. Using intelligence gathered from previous encounters, Kale predicted their movements and sent precise commands to each squadron. Sarah monitored alien communications. Admiral, they're trying to coordinate reinforcements, but our strikes are forcing them to split forces. Confusion is spreading. Kale allowed himself a faint smile. Good, confusion is our ally. They expect predictable tactics. We give them unpredictability, courage, and unity. That is humanity's true weapon. In orbit above the first targeted star system, human strike teams executed coordinated attacks. Energy beams disabled shields on key vessels, while drones targeted engines and weapons. Alien officers struggled to maintain order, issuing frantic commands that were too slow for humans to counter. Captain Lyra's squadron moved in to intercept a group of alien scouts attempting to escape the destruction. Using the gravitational pull of a nearby moon, they executed a sudden slingshot maneuver, striking from behind. Several enemy ships exploded and the remaining scouts scattered. Back on the Resolute, Kale gave further orders. Prepare stealth units for deep strikes. Target command ships directly. Let them see humans are everywhere. Make them fear every corner of space. The stealth ships moved silently, approaching alien command cruisers from unexpected directions. Hidden by asteroids and moving at incredible speeds, they disabled shields, targeted critical systems, and created panic in the enemy fleet. Explosions erupted on command vessels, forcing the aliens to retreat in disorder. In the midst of the battle, Kale allowed a rare moment of reflection. Humans had turned defense into offense, showing that courage, intelligence, and strategy could overcome even superior technology and numbers. Every officer, every pilot, every engineer played a part in this display of unity. Above the human fleet, civilians on nearby colonies observed the chaos of the battlefield. Though terrified, they also marveled at human skill. Energy beams lit the void in brilliant colors. Explosions rocked space, and human ingenuity was displayed in every clever strike. Humans are unstoppable, one child whispered to their parent as they watched. From a secure observation station, yes, the parent replied quietly. We fight with our minds, our hearts, and our courage. That is what makes us strong. Kale's strategy relied on patience and precision. Unlike the aliens, humans did not rush blindly into battle. Every movement was calculated, every attack deliberate. Even smaller ships had a purpose, and even the smallest victory contributed to a larger plan. The alien commanders grew increasingly frustrated. Tharvak's claws slammed the control console. They are everywhere. How do they move so quickly, strike so accurately, and still survive? Our technology is superior. Krelta's voice trembled. Commander, they think differently. Humans adapt. They are unpredictable. They are not afraid to risk what we cannot understand. This is terrifying. Meanwhile, Kale coordinated multiple simultaneous strikes across the 3 alien systems. One fleet targeted supply depots, another hit communications hubs, and stealth units attacked command centers. Each strike reinforced the others, creating chaos without exposing the humans to unnecessary risk. Captain Lyra reported another success. Admiral, the enemy's main supply station is down. Communications are disrupted. They cannot coordinate reinforcements. Our strikes are working. Kale nodded. Excellent. Maintain pressure. Show them that humans are relentless, resourceful, and clever. They may have technology, but we have unity, courage, and adaptability. The aliens, now in full retreat, attempted to reorganize, but human attacks had already sown distrust and fear. Conflicting orders, delayed responses, and scattered fleets made it impossible for them to mount an effective defense. On Epsilon 9, citizens celebrated small victories while continuing preparations for possible retaliation. Engineers repaired damage, medics treated the injured, and families helped rebuild essential infrastructure. Even in the midst of war, humanity's spirit remained unbroken. Kale sent out another secure message to human colonies. We are striking at the heart of the enemy's systems. They will learn that humans are fearless, clever, and united. Every strike counts. Every human is part of this lesson. Prepare for the next phase. Humanity does not surrender. The human fleet pressed the attack, but Kale knew the goal was not destruction alone. It was to teach the aliens a lesson. Every strike, every maneuver, every display of courage and skill was designed to show the coalition that humans were not to be underestimated. As the battle continued, the aliens realized the truth. They had assumed humans were a minor power, easy to overwhelm. Now they faced a species that was unpredictable, disciplined, and fearless. Their technology could not compensate for the humans' ingenuity and courage. Tharvak's frustration boiled over. How can they fight like this? They are insignificant, yet everywhere we look, they strike with precision. We cannot anticipate their moves. They are human. Krelta added softly, Commander, they have something we do not. Unity, adaptability, and courage beyond our understanding. This is terrifying. Kyle allowed himself a moment of satisfaction, but he did not celebrate. Humans had won many battles, but the war was far from over. Each victory taught a lesson, built morale, and prepared humanity for the challenges ahead. In a daring move, Kale ordered one final coordinated strike across the remaining alien systems. Stealth units, fighter squadrons, and larger ships converged on key targets simultaneously. Energy beams cut through defenses, torpedoes disabled engines, and mines destroyed supply lines. The aliens could do nothing but watch as their carefully constructed plans unraveled. Captain Lyra's squadron executed a perfect slingshot maneuver around an asteroid belt, striking the final command vessel. Explosions rocked the ship, forcing it to retreat with the remaining fleet. Panic and fear spread through the coalition, leaving their forces in disarray. Kale surveyed the battlefield, noting the extent of the damage. The humans had struck decisively, demonstrating strategy, courage, and intelligence. Every officer, pilot, and engineer had played a part in this victory. Sarah sent a final message to the colonies. The lesson is taught. Humanity is not to be underestimated. We fight with skill, courage, and unity. The galaxy will remember today. Even as the alien fleet retreated, Admiral Kale knew this was not the end. The coalition would regroup, repair, and strike again. But humanity had shown its strength, its courage, and its ability to teach the galaxy a lesson it would never forget. Above Epsilon 9, citizens watched the aftermath of the battle. Energy beams faded, explosions quieted, and the human fleet regrouped in orbit. Families celebrated small victories while continuing to prepare for the future. Humanity had won the day, but the war was far from over. Kale stood on the bridge of the Resolute, gazing at the stars. "This is only the beginning," he said quietly. "The galaxy will remember us not for our numbers, our technology, or our size, but for our courage, our ingenuity, and our unity. Humanity fights with skill, intelligence, and heart, and we will not stop. The lesson is taught, but the war continues." In the quiet expanse of space, the human fleet shone as a beacon of hope and defiance. Every officer, every pilot, every crew member understood the significance of their actions. They had taught the first lesson to the alien coalition. Humans were not to be underestimated. The galaxy would soon learn in full the power of a united, clever, and fearless humanity. The alien coalition had fled, battered, and disorganized. Their once powerful fleets now limped across space, struggling to regroup. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy witnessed a force that could challenge the established order, a force defined not by technology or sheer numbers, but by courage, intelligence, and unity. Humanity had arrived. Admiral Kale stood on the bridge of the Resolute, watching the stars streak past as the fleet moved to intercept the remaining alien vessels. He felt no triumphal arrogance, only quiet resolve. The victory had been decisive, but the work was not over. Humanity would not just survive. It would ensure that the galaxy remembered its name. Lieutenant Ryan reported, "Admiral, the remaining alien forces are attempting to retreat toward the Krelth system. Their supply lines are fractured, communications weak. We can intercept and force their surrender if you wish." Kyle nodded. "We do not chase for revenge. We strike for certainty, precision, not destruction. Let them understand the consequences of underestimating humanity." The human fleet moved as one, each ship executing carefully planned maneuvers. Smaller vessels flanked the enemy, while stealth units approached undetected, cutting off retreat routes. Every strike targeted supply lines, engines, and command systems. The aliens were cornered, forced to witness human skill in action. Captain Lyra's squadron led an intercept of the remaining frigates. Using the gravity of a nearby asteroid belt, they executed a sudden slingshot maneuver, striking the alien ships from unexpected angles. Explosions lit up space as human torpedoes found their marks. Panic spread through the coalition. "This is impossible!" Tharvak roared aboard his flagship. "How can they be everywhere at once?" "They are only a fraction of our numbers." Krelta's claws trembled as he answered. "They are not just numbers, Commander. They are humans. They adapt, they learn, they fight with courage beyond our understanding. This is terrifying." As the alien fleet faltered, Kyle issued a final order. "Prepare communications. Offer terms. Let them surrender before we destroy everything. Humanity teaches lessons, but we do not kill unnecessarily." Sarah quickly transmitted the message to the remaining alien leaders. You have been defeated. Humanity stands united and unyielding. Submit your fleets and we will allow your survival under terms of peace. Resist and you will face total destruction. The choice is yours. Across the void, the alien commanders hesitated. Their ships were crippled, supplies low, and morale shattered. They realized that continuing the fight would mean annihilation. Slowly, one by one, ships lowered their weapons and signaled surrender. Kyle allowed himself a moment of quiet satisfaction. "This is how humans fight," he said softly. "With courage, skill, and intelligence. And now the galaxy will remember us not as prey, but as equals, as leaders, as a force to be respected." The surrendered alien ships were escorted to secure star systems, where human engineers assessed damage and ensured compliance with the surrender terms. Humanity did not seek vengeance. They sought stability, security, and a demonstration of what happened when the galaxy underestimated them. On Epsilon 9, citizens watched broadcasts of the surrender. Children cheered, parents hugged, and a quiet sense of pride spread across the planet. Humanity had survived the war, outsmarted the strongest fleets in the sector, and secured its place among the stars. Kale convened his senior officers once more aboard the Resolute. "Today we have shown the galaxy what humans are capable of. Courage, unity, and intelligence outweigh raw power. This is our legacy. But remember, this is only the beginning. The universe is vast and there will always be challenges. We remain vigilant, we remain clever, and we remain united." Captain Lyra spoke, her voice full of pride. "Admiral, the fleet performed beyond expectations. Every pilot, every engineer, every crew member contributed to this victory. Humanity is stronger than anyone thought." Kale nodded. "Yes, and the lesson will be remembered. Every alien fleet that underestimated humans will now think twice. Our legacy is not just survival, but excellence, courage, and intelligence in the face of impossible odds." The human fleet returned to human-controlled space, greeted by celebrations across colonies. Ships landed, repaired, and resupplied, while messages of congratulations and pride spread throughout human systems. Humanity had not only survived but had demonstrated that it could teach the galaxy a lesson in strategy, bravery, and resilience. In the quiet of the Resolute, Kyle looked out at the stars. He thought of the countless humans who had fought, risked, and sacrificed to ensure this victory. Every pilot who dodged impossible odds, every engineer who repaired critical systems under fire, every officer who executed orders with precision, together, they had created a force that could not be ignored. "Humans will always fight," he said softly, "not just to survive, but to lead, to inspire, and to protect what is ours. The galaxy has learned its lesson, and we will never forget our own." Across human space, colonies rebuilt and prepared for the future. Civilian ships were repaired, cities restored, and communities strengthened. Humanity had faced the greatest test of its time, and had emerged stronger, smarter, and more united than ever. In the alien systems, leaders assessed the cost of their underestimation. Their fleets were weakened, their influence diminished, and their perception of humans had changed forever. Fear and respect replaced arrogance. They had learned that humanity could fight with courage, adapt faster than any intelligence predicted, and act decisively when necessary. Kale sent a final message across human-controlled space. "We have survived. We have fought with courage, intelligence, and unity. Humanity's legacy is built on these strengths. Let every star system remember, we do not surrender, we do not bow, and we will not be underestimated. This is who we are. This is what humans do." For the first time in generations, humans across the galaxy looked up at the stars with pride. They had not only defended their colonies, their people, and their homes. They had proven that humanity could stand against any force, overcome any odds, and leave a mark upon the universe that no one could ignore. Kyle stood alone for a moment, staring at the distant stars that had witnessed humanity's courage. The war had been difficult, the enemy powerful, and the odds long against them. But humans had adapted, fought strategically, and triumphed through unity and intelligence. "The galaxy will never forget this day," Kyle whispered. "Humans do not fight to destroy, they fight to survive, to protect, and to teach. Today we have shown the universe what it means to face a human fleet." As the human fleet returned to its home systems, celebrations erupted across the colonies. Families reunited, crews rested, and stories of heroism were shared across communication channels. Humans had achieved victory, but more importantly, They had proven a universal truth: courage, intelligence, and unity could overcome even the greatest odds. In the following weeks, messages from alien systems acknowledged humanity's strength. Treaties were reconsidered, alliances reformed, and caution replaced arrogance. Humanity's name was spoken with respect and, in some cases, with fear. The galaxy had learned a vital lesson: never underestimate a human. Kale watched as ships returned to docks, crews were honored, and civilians celebrated. He knew that the galaxy had changed forever. Humanity's actions would be remembered for generations, not just as warriors but as teachers, strategists, and survivors. Finally, Kale allowed himself to rest. Humanity had emerged victorious, its reputation solidified, and its legacy secured. They had fought with courage, intelligence, and unity. They had taken the fight to the strongest fleets in the sector and emerged victorious. They had taught the galaxy the meaning of resilience, and the final message, simple yet powerful, echoed across every system. You chose war. Watch us teach you how it's done. The galaxy would remember. The humans would not stop, and humanity's legacy had only just begun.